What's up? This is Lance, co-founder of BH Capital Enterprises and also team leader of the Abacus Group. Team Mamba is the name of my team. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Also the others that were involved in the crash. Uh, this video is about spreads. And as you can see here on my screen, this is Thinkorswim platform. We're inside the desktop version of the Thinkorswim platform, and just looking at Amazon to illustrate an example. So I created this video in light of the fact that there were some people that never really considered spreads in their strategy. So one thing that I'm always looking at when I'm trading is what's the spread on any particular contract. Um, so if you look at these strike prices here, and we'll just say the 2030 strike price, for example, you see that the ask price is 11.45 and the bid is 6.50. So someone that may not necessarily pay attention to, let's just say, the markets are open theoretically, and these are, the prices for these contracts. So someone who doesn't necessarily think about or pay attention to spreads may just say, "Oh, let me buy this particular contract, the 2030 strike, the 2030 calls at the asking price of 11.45, which is $1,145." And then what you won't realize is that immediately, most likely, your contract will be negative immediately. And some people may get bewildered by that. Like, I don't understand. I bought my contract, right at the money, or better yet, I bought my contract in the money, and I don't understand why it's down. Like, I just got in it. So imagine, you get these contracts, the 2030 calls at 11.45. You're in the red, maybe a couple $100, and you say, bump it. I'm I'm at my threshold. I'm gonna get stopped out. Let me just sell this thing. And then you turn around and you sell at the bid, 6.50. So you just lost, what's that, 500 something bucks, and all you did was get in and you got right back out, right? So that's because of the spread. You have to consider the difference between the bid and the ask price, and you always want to aim somewhere in between the bid and the ask. And that's what I do. That's the beauty of limit orders, is that it offers you that flexibility to try to get a better price when you're entering a trade as well as exiting a trade. And I'll show you guys what I pay attention to when I try to, or when I'm entering and exiting any of my trades. And I won't say that I almost never pay the asking price and sell at the bid price, because it just depends on, it differs from one company to the next. Some, like Apple, you won't see a spread nearly as wide as this, generally speaking. Apple, the spreads are usually very tight. So for the most part, when it comes to, those companies where the spreads are tight, I don't mind selling at the bid and buying at the ask, because it's not a very material difference in the pricing. So when it comes to entering and exiting, uh, when it comes to your entrance and exit strategy, always, always, always consider the spread, because you can lose money immediately, and a lot of people don't think of that as money lost. Um, It's just like, as long as I made money, it's cool. And that's cool, but when you do that, you almost give money away. So think about, if you jump in some calls and you overpay for those calls by like $200, you have to climb out of the whole $200 before you reach break even, and then you go into uh, profit level, right? So I would much rather get into a contract and be right at, that zero level, or even in profit already, and not have to worry about, oh, this contract has a ways to climb before I see any green, and I just got into it. So that's a part of my strategy. And here's what I use. Here's what I look at when I'm buying and selling my contracts at a limit price. But let me back up a little bit. So if you're one of those people that buys at the ask and sells at the bid, this video is definitely for you. And I'll say that market orders, if you use a market order on something like this, more than likely you're going to overpay and you're going to undersell. So you're going to pay more for the contract than what it's worth at the time, than what it's really worth at the time. And you're going to end up probably selling for less than what it's really worth at the time. So limit orders give you that flexibility in choosing, trying to get a better price for your contract. So here's what I use. I use Mark. So anytime that I'm buying and or selling my positions, I look at the mark, and that is the limit order that I put in. So if I were looking to get into this contract and look at the difference for those highlighted calls here, the 2030 strike, um, jumping in and paying 11.45 for a contract that's really going for just under $9, no, no. And then on the sales side, you're selling a contract for 6.50 that's really going for just under $9. So think about that. That's very important. Uh, that's a significant loss, really, if you are not paying attention to the spread. So, uh, I mean, there's nothing really more that I can say at this time. That's pretty much the gist of this video. But if you have any questions about that, definitely let me know. Hopefully this was thorough and simple, and hopefully you guys take heed. Those of you that don't really pay attention to the spread. So, like I said, if you have any questions, reach out. Thanks.